Hey guys, it's Scott Payne from PMP Exam Success Secrets with Scott. In this episode, I'm going to teach you the 2 real reasons that people fail the PMP exam and what you can do to make sure you don't. So the real question is this: how do hard-working project hustlers like us, who aren't afraid to put in the work, who invest in ourselves and our careers, how do we prepare for the PMP in a way that makes us battle ready for the onslaught of situational questions we know we'll face, so that we can walk into the exam with confidence and walk out with the project respect we deserve? Now, I've been in your shoes and I've done it. Join me as I guide you step by step to your PMP success using the most innovative study practices and the best tools on the market. My name is Scott Payne, and welcome to PMP Exam Success Secrets. Hey guys, it's Scott Payne, PMP Exam Success Secrets with Scott. I am here to serve you in all your PMP needs. Now, this week, we're going to talk about the 2 real reasons that people fail the PMP exam and try to give you some guidance, some direction on how you can avoid doing that yourself, how you can avoid failing, right? That's the big goal here, right? All right, so as I started teaching, after the previous episode, if you watched it, you went through my struggle. I ended up writing a book while I was studying. That's what actually came out of that. As I left the exam and realized, got this new job, did a lot of cool things with it, got to be home, I wanted to teach people my method. And as I started to teach people and refine my PMP study method, a lot of the students, you might be surprised, that I got initially were students that had failed before. Weirdly, it surprised me. I was like, I didn't know that was like a whole niche market of people that had failed the PMP. So a lot of them, a heavy majority of them that came to me for some reason, maybe by luck, were those people that had failed. Some of you out there might have failed before. No shame in the game. Totally understand. I thought it was random, but after I got, a good number of them in, I said, okay, so this is a thing. There's a whole market of people that have failed. And these people, honestly, had gone through all the big box classes. The big ones that are out there when you Google stuff. All these classes that say 99.9.99999.9% pass rate. So somehow these people were our 0.00001ers. I had a lot of them. And I guess I like underdogs, and I like a challenge. So I was pumped to take on the challenge to say, hey, you failed before once, twice. I even had a guy or a couple of guys that had failed 3 times, and we got them on the 4th go around after they take a little break. What can we do to pass? And so it was a great case study as I started teaching and started learning how I was going to teach people in what worked and what didn't. And while I was working with them, I started to realize that there wasn't anything different from the people that had passed and the people that didn't pass. There wasn't anything noticeable different. And what I mean by that is, it wasn't that all our young people failed, or all our old people failed, or all our people that worked in this industry failed, or that had this type of experience or whatever failed. It was across the board. It just was a smattering of the world, right? Different countries, different people, whatever, who had all gone through same big box kind of PMP prep. And it wasn't anything about experience or smarts, just general, college smarts or anything else. It was something else. So as I worked with them and used our method to get them to pass, and we did all those great things with them, I kept looking and kept saying what is different? And one of the students, after a while, I remember him, he just said that, hey man, in response to my question, what is different this time? What made it different for you to pass this time with confidence and all those things when the last time you couldn't? And he said, basically it came down to how things are organized and explained. And the way he kind of worked it out to me, and it made total sense, and it was kind of obviously, was that he made the cooking analogy. You can go to the library or go online and you can get a recipe book, right? A cookbook, tons of them everywhere. And you can flip to the page and you can see all the stuff that's in there. Paprika, salt. Obviously, I'm not a chef. I don't know what's in recipes, but all the things that go in. And they even tell you, 450 at 30 minutes or whatever, all these things. So facts are there. This is what he said to me. All the facts for the cooking is there. And they could give that. And that's what he felt like with a normal class. He did a boot camp and he also did the e-course with somebody else. And he felt like they pushed that on there. Facts. Here you go, buddy. Here's all the PMP facts. This is the organizing, this is how you organize them. This is what it is. Learn these and go. Go cook your masterpiece. And so for some people, that might work. They'll fill in the details. They'll do this other stuff. They'll try to make the connections, whatever. But in reality, for a lot of people, that's not sufficient. It doesn't make things easier. That's the big point of, my talking to you, is making things easier. And so having that example of like how to cook, like in example, what he said was, what you're doing, Scott, what we're doing here, the way in which we're talking, the way your e-course is organized and all those things, it really focuses on the way in which the material is organized and explained differently. So what kind of different? Instead of having the siloed type informational approach that normal PMP training has, what he said was my approach was in more of a flow, like a normal project, so that he could see the things that were being done and, in the PMBOK and all those things, and relate them back to his normal life in a way that helped him make sense. And using the John story, he could make the relationships there. So the way in which I organized it by, organizing it like a flow helped him see things. And the way I explained it by distilling it down, now the key part is, it's okay to have that big cookbook of all the information, but that's not how these chefs get great. They know exactly what matters the most. When to turn the heat on. If you have to ramp the heat up fast or slow or all these things, let it simmer, do all these things. They don't give you all the information. They tell you the exact things that really matter. Like if you went to this Michelin star chef, this famous chef, and you asked him, you wouldn't say, just give me all your recipe book. No. You would want to know the tips and tricks, right? You would want to know all those little things that he does, that he's learned, that really matter. Because it's not cut the carrots up so small. Yeah. Like a cafeteria chef could tell you that. But you want to know from this 5-star chef exactly how to braise things, exactly how to heat things, exactly how and what really, really matters. So with this, students, which help the light come on to me with what we are doing here and what we're going to do through this podcast with you and all our courses and everything, is we are giving the path, organizing the materials in a way, and then we are cutting through all the stuff that you don't need to focus on. And we're telling you exactly the details you need to focus on and the way you focus on them and the way you think about things. One of the examples that he had was that no one uses metaphors in these things. They're just giving me facts. This is an input. This is an output. Oh, it's an output in something else as well. Isn't that great? No. What you need is you need to understand why. You need to have it related to something. You need to have a metaphor painted, a picture painted, a story painted. Because otherwise, it's just a memorization game. And, if you've been with me for these 2 episodes, that's what I am anti. So our organizational method, and that's really what I want to get across to you here, is the way in which you study, the decisions that you make and how you study are going to dictate whether you succeed or fail. And you need to align yourself with someone who's going to help you not waste your time and study in the most organized flow and highlight the things that are most important. And that is what my material, what I'm trying to do here. And so if you take anything from this, study in the form of a flow of a real project. It will help. I swear to you, it will help. It will help things organize in your mind easier, okay? And then really focus down as you study and you go through, ask that key question. Why? Why are we doing this? And what are we producing? Okay, those are the 2 key questions you got to start with as you go through. All right, so number 1, the royal reason why people fail is because they're following the wrong path. They're not using the information organized in the right manner, and it's not being explained in a distilled manner. That's all wrapped up into number 1. So they're set up to fail there. Number 2 is all about support. A lot of these people that I realized that had failed before, 1, 2, and 3 times, just needed the right type of support. Now, when I was in high school, I took a physics class, and I was pretty good at math, but I wanted to take an AP, Advanced Placement Physics class, when I was, I think, in 10th or 11th grade. And so I went up to it, and I was so overwhelmed by being in this bigger class with these older students and all these equations and stuff that I totally psyched myself out. And I ended up dropping the class. Went back with my tail between my legs and took it the next year. And I had a different instructor then. I still went in with some of the same kind of fears that I had tripped and fell before, and that some of these things were overwhelming me. But this instructor was entirely different. He supported me. He saw that in me. And he said, hey, we just need to slow this down. I need you to come afterwards and let's just talk through how you're feeling, how you're thinking about things, where you're putting your focus, and all these things, and to see the bigger picture and to support through it. So a lot of these students, it's not that they couldn't understand the material. They definitely could. They end up succeeding, right? It's not that they didn't have the oomph or the emphasis or the want to or any of those things. They had that. Not that they didn't have experience either, right? What it was is a lot of them hit a road bump and weren't able to get past it, or psyched themselves out, or had something that threw them off and they just couldn't get wrapped around it, or they wrapped themselves around the wrong topics and they studied the wrong things. They needed that extra support. So a lot of classes, dead on, exactly, a lot of classes, this is one of the major problems, is that a lot of classes give you a lot of attention for 3-4 days. Does it feel like that? Boot camp. Hey, you're the star of the show. You get taught to. Then after that, crickets. Nothing. You don't hear anything. You don't get any support. Yeah, you might have some videos or some emails or whatever. But reality is, what I've learned and the way in which we structure our material, our classes, our approach, is that we invest heavily in support for you. Because think about the way you learn. I don't think anybody out there can say, hey, the first time I hear it, I got it, right? Like we might have some people out there that got photographic memories or whatever. But a lot of times you need to be basted a couple times in it. And so wouldn't it be better if the material and the instructor and the approach they use in training recognized that at the beginning to say, I need multiple times to give this person the information. And they structured everything to give them that. To say, I'm not going to overwhelm them at the beginning. I'm going to methodically work levels of understanding through them and give them the base, then give them the second level, then give them the PhD level, and then make sure they're ready for the top, okay? Go through step by step. A lot of courses don't do that. They just give you once, boom, the train runs right by you. We're on to the next process. That's it. Now, that's wrong. I don't think that's the best way to learn. I go back to customer student number one myself. Is that the way I would want to learn? No. And that's the way I found that a lot of the students that failed, that's what we're talking about here, is that once we went through things again, explained them in a different manner, tried to find a different key in a sense to unlock their knowledge, to get it to it. Once we provided that support, then we were able to make connections with them and they were able to use the knowledge. So support is the second big one. The first one is how the material is organized and conveyed. The second one is support, not dropping. The thing I want you to see in your mind is look at a plateau or something like Wile E. Coyote, that old cartoon, where you go right off the edge of a plateau and then fall straight down. Think about your boot camp. Think about your classes live online. Think about your other stuff. Do you feel like that? You've gotten support and then bam, you're on your own. Crash. That is not good. What we need to do is support you. And so the real reason why people fail is because the information is not organized and explained in the way that makes most sense in their mind. Okay? And so that's what I've tried to do. And the second thing is giving support so that when you hit those road bumps, that you don't fall down to the bottom there and you don't struggle and you don't waste your time and you don't languish. That's why we set this whole network up. Vibrant chat where you can get on and talk through all these things. Access to me all the time. I'm sure we could grow faster if we didn't do this, but we wouldn't be serving. So if you're out there, there's a couple things that you can do right now to help yourself. You can change the way you study. We talked about that. Get my book, do all that stuff. Or just read by flow and ask yourself, why is this process happening and what are we trying to accomplish? And distill it down to really just try to distill it down as deeply as you can go. Be as concise as possible. If you can get down to that concise level, then you really understand things. And we can help you get there, obviously. And then the second thing is get support. Get support. Realize that you need support in your study. You can get it from an instructor like me to say, I need extra support. You can get it from local PMI chapter, they have study groups and things. Awesome. Go use that. Set up a study group yourself. Groups online, LinkedIn, Facebook, all those things have study groups. So leverage that group, because that is the reason why people fail. They feel alone. They feel unsupported. They're too shy and scared to make that jump. So no reason for that. That is, why we're doing this podcast, why I'm doing this podcast, is to break down that barriers, to say, hey, I need some help. Raise your hand. I need some help. And we're here to help you. All right. So let's think about how we're organizing the material. That is the real reason why people fail. It's not going in the right way. Square peg, round hole. Silos is not the way to learn. Learn by case story, the way we teach it. Learn by flow. That's it. Nobody else does that. That's the beauty of our system. When I was trying to figure this out for myself and I was grinding through this PMBOK, reorganize and distilling it down, asking those key questions that I told you to ask. There's one more key question, but I didn't give it to you yet. Why is this happening? What is this producing? There's another key question that links everything together, but I'm going to give it to you soon. As I started writing it down and distilling it into my book, that is the book that I give to my students, those that failed and didn't fail, so that they can learn, all right? Same thing, we go into the e-course. I'm talking directly as I am to you, and I'm very concise in my language. Like in this, I'm talking a little bit, but very concise in the language to teach you exactly what you need to know at each step so that we can build you up step by step. And then setting that underlying structure, that foundational structure of support, both in the course and on the website and through everything that we talk to. I guarantee you, if you become, you come and get involved with us and do this, and this isn't sales, this is just me telling you, get support somehow from me or from somebody else, because you need it. That is the key ingredient. Use the cooking metaphor. That key ingredient is support. So get that support right now. Find out where you're weak and get them to help you, because don't languish for days, weeks, hours by yourself. Use somebody else's brain to help you get along. All right. So if you stuck with me this long, I appreciate it. We're going to do a lot more of these things. And right now, I want to remind you that we're doing something special as we kick this off. These are the first couple episodes of the podcast and YouTube. And what we want to do is you go to pmmasterprep.com, go check it out. We are giving a select number of you, if you get in and get into the sweepstakes, access to everything I got. Everything. E-course, beginning to end. World's only case story focused e-course. Learn like a real project's run. See a case story that guides you all the way through. Fast focused lessons with me talking to you like this that are not boring. If you're bored by it, I don't think you'll be bored by it. No one's ever been bored by it. You get the e-course. You get this simulator. You get the study resources. You get my ebooks. You get access to my group coaching calls. That's support. I'm talking with you. Think about it. I'm trying to give you the things that I think are killing a lot of students. I think you're underserved. I think you're, mistreated in a sense by not being explained to it in the best way. For whatever reason they take that position, I take the other position, and not being supported. So I want to give you that support. So go to pmmasterprep.com/free. Get into the sweepstakes, get the e-course, get the simulator, do all those things, get in there. We're going to select a ton of you guys and we're going to guide you through. And then just keep following. Hit subscribe here. Let's go. We're going to give you more episodes as we go through here. Tactical things that you can do right now. So keep listening, keep your head up, and let's do this together, you and me. Let's get this PMP. I'll see you soon. Hey guys, thank you for tuning in today, and I hope this message made a giant impact in your PMP study. I know that when I was out there, it was really hard to find just one person that was going to guide me from the beginning to the end and speak to me in a language that made sense. That is what this podcast is all about. Now, there's a ton of more people out there just like you. I know you got some in your life. If you want to make a difference in their life like I'm trying to make in yours, share the podcast. Get them on the train too. It's going to help them. It's going to help you. Everybody's going to get better. And if you want to continue to get better, I have a special offer for you. Now, I've written a new book. I know a lot of you out there are having issues with math and EVM, earned value management calculations. It's hard. It's confusing, we think, but in reality, I've broken it all down. I've simplified everything. So if you want to take your EVM levels to the roof, if you want EVM made easy, then come to our website, pmmasterprep.com/free. I have a book. It's going to be on Amazon. It's going to cost a lot of money on Amazon, but on my website, it's free. So go to through there, get the EVM Made Easy book. It's really going to help you out. It's going to simplify everything. I'm going to teach you exactly how to solve all the EVM problems. So go check it out. PM Master Prep /free. Get the EVM Made Easy book, and let's do this.